Welcome to Blueprint the Culture. I'm your host, Talia Johnson Huff, and I am joined by one of my cohort members. She is, can I say one of my faves? Are y'all gonna be mad? Don't be mad at me, lit cohort. So Casey has been here before. This is not her first time. She has been here before, and she is a part of the Buffalo Niagara MWBE and SDVOB capacity building cohort. And so she is here talking about the Agnes Youth and Family Center. There's so many exciting things going on. I'll just give a little backstory before I pass the mic to Casey. Cheryl and I visited Casey and we sat in on her board meeting. Yeah. How awesome. First of all, thank you for inviting us.
Of course, thank you for coming.
It was so awesome just to be able to be inside of what you're building, see the board, that is working alongside of you, and how you, at your very young age, have so many announcements, first of all, to make. And it was just awesome to see the builders that you have, beside you and behind you, building the Agnes Youth and Family Center. So it was awesome. And so much going on. Right now, I'm holding something. I'm going to announce it first, and I'm going to pass it to her. So the Agnes Youth and Family Center has a charity concert that is happening on June 13th. It's a Saturday. It's from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. and it is at the Gypsy Parlor, which is located on Grant Street in Buffalo, New York. It's for ages 18 and up. And this is all to benefit children and families in the city of Buffalo, because the Agnes Youth and Family Center is exactly what it is. It's a youth and family center. And so shout out to Gypsy Parlor. This is going to be an awesome event. I will be hosting this event, and I'm super excited about that. And I'm just going to pass it to you, Casey. First of all, congratulations on getting engaged.
Thank you.
Okay, I can't even let you speak on that, because congratulations on graduating.
Thank you.
Again, with what? Tell us what's been going on with Casey.
Yeah, so thank you again for having me on the show. And I did officially complete my master's. I finished all my clinical hours.
Come on, masters! Oh, I can't say that. Okay.
So I officially now finished all my clinical hours, and I have my master's in social work, and I'm right to work with that. I'm working at as a family and child counselor right now at Catholic Charities.
Awesome.
On Broadway and Bailey in their supervised visitation program. I've been there now for about a year, and now officially I can say a licensed clinician there. And so that's been very exciting. And then to what you were alluding to with the Agnes Youth and Family Center, we do have a lot of fun things going on and exciting things going on. Shout out to Terry Ridgway from Ridgway Construction. He, over this past weekend, he painted our rooms. And so our classrooms are underway. And, our kitchen's coming together. Work is almost complete there as well. And shout out to Rob Anderson for putting up our fence next week for us. So
yes. So many amazing people in the community are rallying around the Agnes Youth and Family Center. And, some, listeners may not have heard about what Agnes Youth and Family Center is and what you all do and why some people from the community are helping. Yeah. Right? So tell us a little bit about the Agnes Youth and Family Center and your mission and your goals.
Yeah. So the Agnes Youth and Family Center, it's named after my grandmother, Agnes. And our mission is to provide early ed and family support services. So, reason why a lot of people are getting behind it is because we're opening a childcare center. Yeah. So not only are we providing support services like we've done with doing our community events when we partnered with other orgs, and through our food and clothing pilot program that we did, but we're providing a space where families feel safe and not judged and nurtured, and where you don't only just have access to the early ed, but you'll have access to clothing, you'll have access to food, you'll have access to resources, which is the biggest thing. Yeah. And through building connection. So we do have a collaboration with a private practice that takes Medicaid that specializes in family therapy. So that will always be an option too if travel is an issue. Yeah. And what makes it really cool too is like a little loophole is that if you are on Medicaid and you're in need of therapy, but also childcare and transportation is a barrier, if you come to us, we can call a Medicaid cab for you.
I love that.
Go to your therapy appointment, but then you also get to drop your kid off. And so it works out.
First of all, you are doing so much in the community. You're doing not only so much in the community, you're doing so much for the community. And I won't go back into your, your story. I won't go back into any of that because obviously that's a whole entire different show, right? But being inside that board meeting, I was able to see you in action. Like I've seen you in action, but like to see you in action and the things that you are bringing to the table, the grants that you're applying for. You've also done something else that you did not mention. I want to just give a disclaimer. It's so funny when you are a person who is action oriented. Some people don't understand it. They feel like you're doing a whole bunch of stuff. And they're always trying to figure out, how are you doing this?
Yes.
How do you have time to do this? And it's like, we have the same amount of hours in a day.
You make time.
You make time. You make time to do what you're passionate about, what is on purpose for you, right? So you make time to do those things. And one thing I will say about Casey, she utilized every minute of her day to do something that is impactful, because not only are you grant writing, going to school, working, at a center, building a center, setting up a board, applying for grants, you're also at every event that is happening in Buffalo and surrounding areas. Like, I'm starting to think you're cloned, but that's just my personal belief, because you're everywhere. And I think that's so important. Tell us a little bit about some of your strategy around how you end up in certain rooms. Tell us a little bit about that.
So the way that comes about is, at first I start just going out to the free networking events, meeting people. Like Buffalo Open Coffee Club is a great start, because at Buffalo Open Coffee Club, you don't realize it, but you have some powerful leaders that are there just because they want to give back and talk to, emerging entrepreneurs and help out. But then when you're in those spaces, you find out about other events going on. Something else is like, I'm part of a group called Quality Contacts, and you can go on their website and they have an Excel sheet with all the events going on in Buffalo. So, you look at the beginning of the month and you can just pull and you can put those into your calendar. And I think it's just important about getting involved in groups, because when you get involved in different groups, not only are you building community, but then, now you become top of mind in their head too. And now when a referral comes about, they immediately think of you. And I think people think they need to have instant business, and they don't think about the longevity of building the relationships and how, 6 months, a year from now, how that can turn into 5, 10, 15 referrals. And really that's how I've done it, just by building relationships and connection.
Super important, especially here in Buffalo. I hear a lot of people say like, oh, how do you know this person? Or when I go out, like people are always speaking to me like, oh my, you know everyone. Buffalo, we talked about this, is like a big living room. Right? And I like to say a big living room, but I also like to say it's like one big comfy couch. And it's like some of us can all fit on the couch together. Some of us want to just pull up our own single chair, right? And then it's just difference of personality, character, and all of those things. But in all you're doing, get a community beside you, behind you, get a community that you're connected to, because that is the only way that you survive and thrive in the city of Buffalo, and really surrounding areas, but certainly in Buffalo, it's about who you know more than it is what you know, because the more of who you know, the more you will begin to know. So that's just awesome. Casey, you also did open up your LLC.
I did.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. Casey, you are awesome, obviously, at grant writing. Shout out to who's your mentor? Who taught you?
Oh, Gwen Curry.
Oh my God, the grant lady herself.
Yes.
So amazing. It's so amazing to see you open up this business and you are writing grants. I'm just listening to the grants that you applied to and the ones that are coming through down the pipeline. So what's top of mind right now that you want people to know about Agnes Youth and Family Center? And, what's the push behind this charity concert?
So the push behind this charity concert is so we can open our doors. As you alluded to, we have gotten grants. And the biggest thing about the Agnes Center is that we're subsidized childcare. And that's the biggest thing. Yeah. Because most childcare providers here in Western New York are for-profits. There's nothing wrong with that. But by being a nonprofit, we're really prioritizing, taking the subsidy and not just the private pay. Yeah. And, being mindful of the community we're in and the, people that are here in the inner city, they need subsidized daycare. Yeah. But what does that mean? That means, and what most people find out is whenever you are working with New York State, a lot of it is reimbursable. You need to find a way to get that cash up front. And so general operating expense grants are the hardest ones to
So
get.
hard.
And especially as
Yes.
a newer nonprofit, it's even harder. So, we've been fortunate enough that we do have a few of those applications in the pipeline, and, there have been some good talks. So
Yeah.
we're hopeful that we'll get some of those. But really, this is like, if we don't get those, we want to still be able to open. So that's what
Yeah.
this is for. This is really to help us get us over that final push.
Mm-hmm.
And so many bands are participating in this, because of the cause. And performing at no cost, like Imperfect, like Don't Watch TV, like Primal Division. And actually, Primal Division is traveling here from Rochester
Oh,
to
I love
support
that.
us.
The city, the Rochester is like our sister. It's like our sister
Yeah.
for real. And I love that about our cities. Like, we're so close, and we're so different.
Yes, we
We're
are.
so different. But it's funny because, when I am, I'm always going to scream Kearns Avenue Bowling Center. When I'm there, they do a comedy show. And it's funny to see the difference of the comics that are from the city of Buffalo and a lot of comics we get that come from Rochester. But there's such a difference. We look different, we act different, but we're still sisters, right? So I love that. And just, what are some of the things that they can expect other than the bands, at the Agnes Youth and Family Center charity concert?
Well, of course, you're going to be surrounded by wonderful people.
Hello.
But you can also expect a basket extravaganza. So
Yeah.
we'll have some things out there. And then we'll also have Batavia Downs is also donating gameplay. So we'll be raffling those off in between sets.
Okay.
Along with great food and some great drinks as well.
Awesome. And what kind of music is this? Because when you say that the titles, the city of Buffalo was like, excuse me, what is this?
So we have a very fun lineup. We have first, but Don't Watch TV, you have more of a hip hop. And then when you go into more Primal Division, you go more into ethereal funk.
Okay.
And then when you go into Imperfect, you go into more pop punk. So it actually is just going to be building.
Yeah. Okay. I love that. First of all, I love, obviously, anything diversified. I'm there. Like, count me in. Big eat. Is that what that is? Big eat.
Yeah.
Big eat on that. I think that's so important to have a plethora of different options for, your listening pleasure. And I'm just a music person, so I love music, period, right? I love music. I love the drums. I just love the musicians behind it. And so awesome stuff. Definitely the basket extravaganza. Are you all accepting those people who may want to say, hey, maybe I can't make it, or I would like to come, but I also like to give a basket?
Yes.
Are you still accepting baskets?
Yes, we are.
Okay, awesome. And where do we find out more information about the Agnes Youth and Family Center and this event? How can people actually register to get their ticket?
So you can go on to either our website or you can go on to any of our social media pages, and we do have an event page.
Okay.
You can also go on to Quality Contacts, and they also have the event on their website as well.
Okay, awesome. And there's a QR code here, but I'll just give you the website. It's agnesyouthfamilycenter.org, and Agnes is Agnes, youthfamilycenter.org. And go there. It's also on Eventbrite, so you can just type in.
It's also on Eventbrite, and it is also, all the bands do have it on their socials, so,
Awesome.
it's out there.
So Imperfect. We'll just put this on our website. How about that? Because we'll just make sure it's on our socials as well. So it's on Blueprint the Culture socials as well. It'll be on my personal page as well. So this is dope. The tickets are $17.83.
Yeah, it's really $15, but Eventbrite.
Eventbrite, yes.
They're a little extra too.
So are you allowing people to pay in person?
Yes.
Okay, that's also important. So it's $15 at the door.
It's gonna be $20 at the door.
I'm sorry, $20 at the door. Scratch that. Don't be coming in there saying Blueprint the Culture is paying my other $5 because I gave y'all false information. It's $20 at the door on June 13th at 4 p.m. 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Gypsy Parlor. Why Gypsy Parlor? That's a question I had. Like, is it just because, like, what about Gypsy Parlor? And I'm asking for a specific reason.
Well, Gypsy Parlor, when I first came to Buffalo, I actually used to go there for the karaoke nights.
Yes.
Because my fiance now was big into karaoke.
Right.
So I've always known Gypsy Parlor.
Yeah.
And then, actually through the cohort, Monisha in our cohort, she introduced me to the owner, and we kind of just hit it off, and she was like, I love your cause and I would love to help you out, because we had some of the bands that were like, yeah, we would do this, we just needed the location.
Yeah.
And it worked out. It was a great partnership, and Gypsy Parlor is great. Like they
It
do a lot
is.
of events. If you ever go in there, they have like tarot cards that are like into the bar and everything like that, and their
Gypsy
design and everything like
Parlors.
that.
It's exactly the name.
That's exactly the name.
It is
Exactly
exactly the
the
name.
name.
It
Yeah,
is
it's
branded.
yes, and it's great. And I don't know anyone that's ever gone there and said they've had a bad experience. It's just great people that go there too.
Yeah, Gypsy Parlor is awesome. I always love the karaoke
Yeah.
there. And that's one of the things I feel like we're known for in Buffalo. We have a lot of like little karaoke
Yes.
spots. We used to have a lot. Like we used to have Duke's Bohemian Bar and Grill, which I miss so much. That was a spot where you could just go there at any minute and just hear the R&B and the soul and all the different types of genre. It was just awesome. So yeah. So what else is going on in I want to say Casey's Land. I'm about to rename the Youth and Family Center. And with the Agnes Youth and Family Center, like how else can people support? Like what are some other needs that you all have that obviously the charity concert is going to
Yeah.
help bring those, keep the doors open, definitely bring some income in. But what if someone wants to do something more? They can't make it to Gypsy Parlor on June 13th. And they're saying, hey, I want to do something more. What are some of the needs of the Agnes Youth and Family Center?
So right now we are putting together our classrooms, and so once we are done painting, I will need help putting them together. I will also need help. We have a bunch of clothes we got donated. If any, like I'm gonna wash them, but if anyone is willing to take some and wash them or fold them or help us sort through them, that would also be great. And right now we're actually looking for like 3-tier like container like the pullouts for our clothing closet. So if anyone has that laying around their house and like I was going to donate it, like think of us, top of mind. But really, if anyone's ever willing to volunteer or anything like that, we're looking at that. And if anyone knows anyone that will be interested in working in a childcare facility and being a teacher, we're always looking for that too.
What are the qualifications for that?
So for a lead teacher, you will need either a high school diploma, a CDA credential, and at least like 2 years of experience for that. But if you have 9 college credits, maybe 12.
We won't hold you to that. You're coming from the dome. So.
Yeah. So if you have, because depending on the different levels, but anywhere from 9 to 12 college credits in early ed, along with some teaching experience or just any experience working with kids, you can be a lead teacher. If you are like fresh out of like high school and you're like, I'm trying to figure out what I want to do, as long as you have a high school diploma and you've like babysat before or something like that, we can have you as an assistant teacher. And I know one of like the hardest things going into this field is going to be staffing, because like I worked in a childcare facility before and I'm very aware of that, but I'm also aware of the supports like when I was there, because you have a younger generation there. You have people who are going to school for education that want to get experience, so they're going to work at a childcare facility, and that's who you're mostly getting. And then you also have to think about the supports that they need in place as well. And so that's what I'm sort of working on too, like thinking about them, being very mindful when I open, like what benefits can I offer to staff to know that they are supported, and like resource I can give them as well, because I want to see my staff grow.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. I think that's super important. And I will say, obviously from a business perspective, I'm always looking at things, but I don't know, how you'll handle payroll, but I think it's important that we know as businesses that there are options for us who may not be able to offer a huge benefits package, but going to someone like a professional employer organization, a PEO, is important, because then you're able to couple and sign up with them to, obviously they'll handle, a lot of them do different things, but it's like a wraparound services, right? So they can do payroll for you, and they can also do, like sometimes they'll do pay as you go workers comp. They can do certified payrolls if you need that type of thing. But what I find that is unique about them is so important for me, because I used a PEO back in like 2017 when they weren't popular. And the only PEO that I could use was in Idaho.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was Employers Resources of America. It's who I use. And that's how I found out I was able to give my guys benefits package so they can get healthcare and dental and vision. The other thing that I loved about a PEO, I don't know why I'm talking about a PEO, but I guess it's important. The other thing that I loved about a PEO is that they could do like a savings plan. So like they can take $10 out of every check will be saved, and then they would get that check like right before Black Friday.
Yeah, so actually as a nonprofit, and I spoke to someone about this, we can offer someone a 401k plan.
Yeah, absolutely.
We can, because it's under a special like 50 something like code. But what that essentially means is that if you're a nonprofit, you're able to offer this to your employees at no cost to you as a nonprofit, but it's like either like $15 to $25 to open the account. So if you want as a nonprofit, like waive that fee for them or something like that. But then what they do is then, the employee can say, I want to put as little as 25. Some they have like a minimum, but as little as like 25, every paycheck into this account and to build it. So that's something that we are going to offer our employees, because it is important to think about that and the financial literacy about that, and about building your future and being smart with your finances.
Absolutely. I love that so much. I love the opportunity for those who, are starting out. And I think that it's important to notate that when you say, a lot of people are like, oh, well, they don't have that experience. Well, there is a lot of burnout that happens when you're working with youth in general, but especially with children. So I think that it's great to get those who are coming, either fresh out of college or fresh, out of school, and they have a lot of energy, right?
They do.
And they're passionate for the most part. They're very passionate. And so you're getting that, and your kids are getting that person who is exciting, right? Well, I was just talking to someone, we just brought a new project manager on up under me, and she's awesome. And she was sharing with me about, her son who has a special need, but he loves his babysitter. And the babysitter is 16. And first of all, he loves that she's pretty, right? So that was a win. But he loves the time and attention that she takes with him, and that she pays to him. So I think that it's important. So any youth who are, I say youth, but because I'm like old now, but anyone who is interested, where can they go to say like, hey, I am interested in potentially being a teacher or a classroom assistant? Where can they go? Is that something they can find on your website?
Yeah, so they can contact us directly on our website, even if they wanted to, follow us either like on LinkedIn now or Facebook or Instagram, and then like message us. We also do that too. To try and get in contact with us. We do also have an email on our website. You can also email that as well to get in contact if you are interested. And something you just said I think is really important, because I was a babysitter forever. And I never realized it, but that's probably why, is because you have the energy, you have the time, and you want to like do it.
And you enjoy it.
Yeah, you enjoy it.
And so it's like, listen, I'm someone who, I am not a little kid person.
Yeah.
But I love teens. Not mine, but like other teens. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. My 20-year-old isn't a 20-year-old now. She's not a teen. Girl, bye. Anyway. But I like to work with that particular age group because they're in that transition stage, and, they are impressionable and, things of that sort. Babies and like, it takes special individuals to be able to work with like toddlers and babies and like that age group. So I think it's important that they choose it. That they don't do it because they need a job. No. That they actually choose it. And, this is a field, especially when you're talking about, working with youth or you're working with special needs, you need to choose it. It needs to be something that you actually want to do. You're not doing it because you are looking for that paycheck. And so it's important to, know that there may be, some youth out there. Don't count them out, No. Another conversation that we were having, I was having with someone, but they were speaking about actually Larry Stitt from Golden Cup. So shout out to Mr. Larry Stitt from Golden Cup. We were talking yesterday about how important it is, how important mentorship is.
Yes. Like Gwen, she mentored me.
Yes.
And it's just through that. But the biggest thing that I found, and like, looking now, going through like a hiring process and having gone through that with like volunteers and stuff like that, is I look for like, are you coachable? Are you willing to take feedback? Like, are you willing to learn? Because I would much rather work with someone that's willing to learn versus someone that isn't. Yeah. Because you have to understand, like, once you leave college and school, like in the working field, you're constantly learning. Like, everything is always changing. In school, you learn the theory and you learn, why it was formed, but then you have to actually apply it. And that's what you start learning in like the working field. And you have to be able to be coachable. Like, you have to be able to hustle and have that mindset, and you'll be successful.
Yeah. And that's so important that you said that. Like being teachable. People don't mind pouring into you.
No, they don't.
They don't. It's just, are you going to receive it? Do you know everything?
Mm-hmm.
Every time someone says something to you, do you always have a rebuttal? Or are you
Exactly.
just soaking it up? Because it's draining trying to help someone or teach someone who knows better than you. So draining. So that part, be coachable, be teachable, be open to, people sharing with you and giving you advice. You don't have to always take it,
And yeah, no.
but you should be respectful of the fact that they're taking out time to spend that with you and share with you. So the Agnes Youth and Family Center charity concert, it's an evening of music all in support of children and families in the Buffalo area. Again, it is June 13th, Saturday, from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Doors are opening at 3:45 p.m. It is, if you are registering on Eventbrite, $17.83 per ticket, or $15 if you're not doing it on Eventbrite. $20 at the door, though.
Yeah.
Remember, you get to the door, $20. More information about that is on the as agnesyouthfamilycenter.org. We will also have this on all of our socials.
Okay.
It'll also be on the Agnes Youth and Family Center socials as well. Make sure you are there. And if you would like to donate baskets, go to the same place. If you would like to volunteer, it's super important because the classrooms are being painted. We need you to come out and to support.
Yeah.
Where are you guys located? Tell us a little bit about where you're located.
15 East Utica Street, right across from Utica Station,
Yes.
next to Utica Business Center. We are not the same building as Utica Business Center. We are a separate building, but we are just next door.
Right next to the parking lot.
Yeah.
Connected to the parking lot.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and that's also very important. So, we are actually in a mixed-use building. So, on top, there are family units. There are some available. They're 2 to 3 bedrooms each. And then we are the commercial space. And actually, to even get to us, you have to open a gate. We have to buzz you in. So there's a lot of security too. That's
safety.
Yes.
Yes, I love that.
There's a lot of that. But it's also very interesting because there are some families up there that would want to use the child care center when it opens.
Yeah.
Like, think about that convenience, and we're accessible. We're by like 2 or 3 bus lines, and then the train station.
The train station is right there.
Exactly.
I love that. Yeah. And what's the address again? 13?
15.
15 East Utica. See, you're confused with the business center.
And we are
50.
not the lime green door. We are the black gate.
Yes, hello. Let's be, because I remember we were going in, we were walking all around the building, and I'm like, I think this is can you come outside and get me?
Yeah.
Yes, awesome stuff that you're doing in the community. Did the playground situation ever get remedied?
So, in the process, we had a hiccup. We were in the works to get this very nice commercial playground that someone was giving away that used to own a family daycare center. But, unfortunately, this didn't work out. We are getting some pieces donated to us, so we're kind of just going to piecemeal our playground. The gate and the mulch, that's all figured out. So, if anyone is getting rid of, playhouses, please donate it. We are getting other pieces donated, so we're going to have a nice playground.
Yeah, exactly. And it's important. And if you want to, help, especially with the playground, or of some equipment, you have some equipment, definitely reach out. It's super important that the community supports, especially anything involving kids. We know that daycare is an issue.
Yes.
For a lot of families who want to get to work and who are unable to. And
it's, with the No Child Left Behind Act, you have kids that don't know how to read. They're just getting pushed through. And by, getting to them young, we're able to develop those skills. So now when they go to kindergarten, they can read, they know their numbers, and they can grow from there instead of just being pushed through and not understanding.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it's a learning center. So it's not just, dropping your kid off and you're picking them up and, they
played all day.
They play, they're learning. And I think that I love that, the city of Buffalo is definitely moving into the educational way of doing things. I know a daycare center that I love so much, Tashiko Payton. She has Payton's Place, and she's been doing daycare for a very long time. And those kids are, it's so funny. I sat with her for 2 days in a row, but the time and attention that she puts into those kids. I mean, those kids are eating meals, okay? I was over there eating fried chicken and macaroni and cheese and greens. Like, wait a minute now. Take me back to daycare.
Yeah.
But, and she's teaching the kids are smart and they can't wait to show you that what they've learned. And so it's super important that we have spaces like this. Casey, thank you. Anything else as in the final 1 minute that we have that you'd like us to share other than the flyer? I'm going to hold it up. For those of you who cannot see it, as I said, it will be on our socials. It's the Agnes Youth and Family Center charity concert happening June 13th at the Gypsy Parlor.